Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Reverend Dr. Victoria Jewel Hart. I usually speak on the spiritual laws for success or the natural laws for living, which are pretty much the same for me. I've experienced the wonderful, wonderful life of my dreams coming true by exercising these laws and basically decided to share them with others. I just started a series on the law of love because I realized I'm really walking into all the things that I love. Many people want the loves of their life, they want their dream locale, want their dream career. And so I decided to do this series from the emails that I've received. So let's get started. I think it's law number 5, if I'm correct, something similar in the series of the laws of love. We're talking about taking your feelings off automatic pilot. So let's begin. Greek philosopher Epictetus said, quote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters," unquote. Many people don't know about the power of good feelings, and so their feelings are reactions and responses to what happens to them. They have put their feelings on an automatic pilot instead of deliberately taking charge and responsibility for them. When something good happens, they feel good. When something bad happens, they feel bad. They don't realize that their feelings are the cause of what happens to them. So as they react with a negative feeling to something that's happened, they give out more negative feelings, and they receive back more negative circumstances and experiences. They become trapped in a vicious cycle like a hamster on a wheel, and they just don't know how to get off this crazy area some people would call vibrational frequency. And even in regards to money, if you don't have enough money, naturally you don't feel good about money, even though you may think you do. The money in your life will never change while you don't feel good about it. So if you give out negative feelings about money, you're on a negative frequency about money, and you will receive back negative circumstances and experiences. So even if you have a lot of money, you'll get more bills, you'll have things that break down that cost you money. While all your circumstances will drain that amount of money that you have. When you react with negative feelings to a big bill, you give out negative feelings about money, which bring even more negative experiences and circumstances that will drain the amount of money that you have. So let's bring this up to something positive. Every single second is an opportunity to change your life, because at any moment you can change the way you feel. You are in control about your feelings. So it doesn't matter what you really felt before. Everything is about this present moment, as Eckhart Tolle says. It doesn't matter what mistakes you've done in the past. When you change the way you feel right now, you are on a different frequency. And the law of attraction, as most people call it, I call it the law of love, responds instantaneously to that feeling. When you change the way you feel, the past is gone. When you change the way you feel, your life changes. As Neville Goddard is quoted by saying, quote, "Do not waste one moment in regret of your past, for your thinking, feeling of the mistakes of the past is to reinfect yourself. So let it go," unquote. It is your life is not filled with everything you love. It doesn't mean you're not a good feeling or a loving person. The life purpose for each of us is to overcome the negativity by choosing love. The problem is that most people love and then stop loving hundreds of times a day. They don't give love enough time for the force of love to move all the good things into their life. Think about it. One moment you give love out, a warm hug with a loved one, and then you stop giving love within minutes. When someone annoys you because you can't find something for them, or maybe even being delayed in traffic is a good one, or when you can't find a perfect parking spot is even better. You give out love when you laugh at work with a colleague, and then you stop loving just when one little disappointment might happen at lunch. You give love as you look forward to the weekend, and then you stop feeling love when you get that bill in the mail on Friday. So you're either giving love and harnessing the force of love, or you're not. You can't harness the force of love with an excuse about why you didn't love. Excuses and justifying will not get you ahead of negativity. When you give an excuse as to why you didn't love, you're really feeling that same negativity over and over and over again. If you get annoyed because there's a mix-up at an appointment, you want to blame the other person. Yet the mix-up is really using an excuse to not give love. But the law of love only receives what you are giving. So if you're giving blame, you must receive circumstances of that blame back in your life. It won't necessarily come back to you from within that same person that you're blaming, but assuredly, knowing for sure, it will come back around in another situation or circumstance. So you can expect that will happen. So let's move on that, from blame and criticism and the fault finding are all forms of negativity. Complaints about whether it's your weather or the children or the economy or the food really is a whole lot of host of negativity. Throw these words out of your vocabulary like terrible and horrible and disgusting. Replace them with wonderful words like fantastic, amazing, fabulous, brilliant, wonderful, and one of my favorites, beautiful. You can have whatever you really want in your life, but you have to take the charge to harmonize with love. And that means there are no excuses for not giving love. Excuses and justifications prevent you from being responsible for receiving everything that you want. They prevent you from having your amazing life. In ending, Edwin Markham said, he's a poet, quote, all that we send into the lives of others definitely come back into our own, unquote. I pray that this message was a blessing to you today. I'm asking for any responses or comments to be sent to Ask Dr. Victoria at lightyourpurpose.com. You're welcome to email me at any time, Facebook me, Twitter me. I love this new technology. Thank you so much for tuning in. I pray you have a divine day and you are blessed abundantly.